Look, I think the parliament, based on what they've done so far, I think the parliament is weak. I think they have a lot of people with goodwill. I've dealt with a lot of parliamentarians. There are a lot of people who are sincere, but I think the parliament is weak. Why did I say that? Because parliament have allowed itself to be dictated to as to how they handle their inquiry. Now, there are two problems with the parliamentary inquiry. I think it should be more or less, to be more efficient, they should have worked on the facts. They should have invited all the documents first. And then, like the TRRC, they select which institutions to invite into a public session. Otherwise, this is going to drag forever. If you want to bring everybody mentioned, it's going to drag forever. It will lose public interest. That's one thing. They are not efficient. And the second thing is that Parliament allows itself to be told which sessions need to be done in camera. Can you imagine? Central Bank, one of the institutions solely responsible for this mess, for not cleaning this mess, has convinced Parliament it's not supposed to testify in public. I was in the hall that day. The Central Bank has convinced Parliament, the inquiry, that they were not supposed to, somehow that's connected to national security. You know, the former IGP came, somehow that's connected to national security.
It was the FIU in the later part.
No, probably FIU I may even understand.
Yeah,
the FIU, they mostly logging in the background,
that's
doing the background work and providing intelligence for people to act on. So maybe if FIU, I mean, we should thank the FIU for doing a very honorable job.
Absolutely.
You know, but the Parliament should have stamped its feet on the ground and refused the Central Bank to testify in camera and hold their feet to fire for not acting on anything
until 10 months after.
Until 10 months later.
But of course, if you look at the bigger picture, I mean, the constraint, the police constraint, allegedly, maybe the same constraint that the Central Bank had.
Yeah, but we have to have individual accountability, which means we need to hold the governor to account regarding nobody cares if he has orders from the top. The point is, should the governor acted based on the information he has or not? He should. The point is, should the police have acted based on the information that they have received?
Maybe they should. Maybe the parliamentary committee will ask those questions,
including the GRA, because
testified transparent in public.
Exactly. It is totally incomprehensible for Apogee to argue that we cannot pay tax because we are an international trader, because in the first place you are an international trader trading through front companies that are not properly licensed. So in law, those companies don't exist.
So Apogee should definitely pay tax.
Exactly. It should pay tax or it should pay a fine. Exactly. So for me, I mean, you know, I have had interaction with some people and they said, okay, so if this is US G7 whatever sanctions, so what? We don't care. It's not a UN Security Council. I said, but you are looking at facts that are besides the point. The point is, petroleum product comes into the country, and the country really, in reality, don't benefit because taxes should have been paid. You know, there should have been more. And quite frankly, if all these rules are waived and everybody looked the other way, it is highly likely that people were paid.
Right.
So it would have been individuals who, and there are allegations, even though it's going to be very difficult because nobody pays people through bank accounts. That is why you don't see bank transfers from one account to another. I mean, it would be very dumb for anyone to do that. But if you withdraw a check and you go and dump cash on my table,
it's difficult to trace.
It's difficult to.
So apart from the huge revenue loss to the state, do you think the Gambia would have angered the Americans or any other body who have imposed these sanctions when they know, for example, that Gambia allegedly allowed a product to be sold in the in the country which is under sanction?
Well, I don't know, maybe not, but the reality is that, I mean, the Ukraine war, Gambia had taken a moral position on the Ukraine war. When the issue came to the UN General Assembly, we all know Gambia are taking a position to condemn the invasion. I mean, that is not to say that Gambia will side with US on any other thing, but the reality is that on the Ukraine war, we've taken an explicit position to say Russia should not have acted the way it did, that it had violated certain basic principles, and that we condemned it. So anything that aids Russia in its capacity to cause more harm in Ukraine, Gambia should technically be against that, should morally be against that, sir.